Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you are new here. My name is Ella and this channel is all about spirituality, manifestation, mindset, and aligned business. Now, if you guys have been watching my videos for a while now, you will have noticed a change in scenery because, drumroll please, I am currently in Bali and I will be in Bali for the next 2 months. So you guys will be coming along for this adventure with me and seeing a lot of different backgrounds. Now in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to overcome the fear of failure. Now the fear of failure is something that is so common among us, and it's really a fear that holds us back from doing the things that truly light us up, from doing the things that have meaning, because we are afraid of the uncertain outcomes and we are afraid of what these uncertain outcomes will speak about us as a person. When we fear failure, first of all, we remain stuck in our comfort zones. We procrastinate and we don't do the things that truly will add meaning and light us up in our lives. And second of all, we maintain stuck at the same level of mediocrity and we experience zero to no growth in life and in business. And also when we fear failure, we are constantly stressed out about what other people are thinking about us. We are afraid of being judged by other people. And as a result of that, we live a low vibe, zero fun life that is just not good. Now, if what I described sounds a bit like you, don't worry, we have all been there. I have personally struggled with the fear of failure for so much of my life, and honestly, it's something that still creeps up on me here and there, but today I'm going to be sharing with you my 4-step process on how you can overcome the fear of failure. I have personally used this process to overcome my fear and to do big things in my life, like quit my full-time job, move here to Bali for 2 months, and to run the online business of my dreams. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Step number 1 is to get clear about what failure means to you right now. Now, as you guys probably know, we live in a subjective reality, meaning that everything that happens around us and to us and in our lives have no meaning until we give it meaning. And that meaning then creates our subjective reality. So if you really think about it, words like success and words like failure don't really have meaning until we give it the meaning, right? They're just words. And so in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, we have a foundational principle called the map is not the territory, meaning that the territory is the thing itself, it's kind of like the word itself, but the map is basically our representation of it. So if you think about it this way, failure is just a word, and how failure becomes a part of your reality is the meaning that you give it. So first of all, in this part, I want you to really reflect and ask yourself, how do I know when I have failed? Basically, what you're doing here is eliciting the beliefs and the rules that you have around failure. What does it mean to you when you have failed? Maybe it's that you haven't reached your preset expectations. Maybe it's that you have made a mistake that you think that you shouldn't have, etc. Really getting clear about what are the rules and beliefs that you have around what it means to have failed, because we need to bring awareness to this before we're able to shift it. Step number 2 is to understand what you are missing out on when you keep up with this fear. Now, the reason that we have the fear of failure is because to a certain extent it's actually helping us, right? It's keeping us safe to a certain extent because we're attributing pain to uncertain outcomes. But what we want to do here is attribute enough pain to holding on to this fear of failure that we want to change. So here, first of all, I want you guys to get clear about how is the fear of failure currently holding you back in your life? Meaning, what are the things that are not going well in your life because of this fear? So for example, maybe you are stuck in an unaligned job that you are afraid to leave because you are afraid of failing. Maybe you are not being 100% emotionally available in a relationship because you are afraid of failing in this relationship, right? Or maybe you're just living a low vibe, unaligned life right now where you're not doing the things that truly light you up because you are afraid of what it would look like if you did. So getting really clear about what is currently, the consequences of holding on to this fear of failure. And then the second part here is to ask yourself, what will I miss out on in my life if I perpetuate this fear of failure? So perhaps it's really doing your soul's work and doing the things that light you up for your career. Maybe it's that you're going to miss out on having valuable, meaningful relationships because you are closing yourself off, right? Maybe it's missing out on living a life that truly lights you up, a life that is in full accordance with your values. So getting clear on what you are going to miss out on so that you can attribute some pain to holding on to this fear of failure. And then I want you guys to close your eyes and just really picture all of the things that you are going to be missing out on. And then imagine, what would your life look like 5 years from now if you held on to the fear of failure? Okay? And what would your life look like 10 years from now if you held on to the fear of failure? And what would your life look like 15 years from now if you held on to the fear of failure? So really feeling that pain of not living your best life because you were afraid of failing. We need to attribute the pain to the fear of failure so that you can really feel that drive to shift and to change. Step number 3 is to heal the self-judgment and to redefine what failure means to you. Now, the fear of failure comes from judgment, and the funny thing is that most of the time it comes from our own judgment. It comes from our self-judgment projected onto other people. It's because of how we judge ourselves when we quote-unquote fail that we think other people will judge us in the same way. So the first part of this is to really get clear about how do you judge yourself when you have made a mistake, when you didn't meet a goal as expected, right? Getting clear about how do you talk to yourself, how do you feel about yourself, and how do you think about yourself after you have quote-unquote failed, right? Listing out all of the ways where perhaps you were not very kind to yourself. Maybe you call yourself mean names, or you feel very poorly about yourself if you have quote-unquote failed. Listing out all of these different things that you do and then choosing to heal that self-judgment instead. And a way that I love to do this is, after writing out this list, is to look at it and really feel deeply in saying, I am sorry that I perceived wrongly. I choose to see things differently. I choose to forgive and to love myself. Something as simple as that, or of course you guys can create your version of this kind of affirmation, but really allowing yourself to release and let go of that self-judgment, because in letting go of that self-judgment and healing your self-judgment, that is really where you can create room to redefine what failure means for you. Step number 4 is to upgrade the language that you use on a daily basis. So language is a huge part in how we perceive and how we understand our reality. Not just language that we speak, but also the language that we use in our mind. So this last step really calls for you on a daily basis to be aware of the language that you are using, especially around the notion of failing. So for example, if you made a mistake and you're like, I'm so dumb, I can't believe I did that, reframe language like that to, for example, I tried something that is unfamiliar, it didn't work out, but now I know how to do it better next time, right? Or if you're doing something that really scares you and you're like, I can't do this, I'm going to mess up, reframe it to, I am doing something new and I may not get it perfect the first time around, but I'm willing to try anyways, right? This is really about being aware and choosing better language on a daily basis so that you can create that reality that is open and embracing of failure, and that you're no longer afraid and also being super unkind to yourself when you do quote unquote fail, right? Because at the end of the day, like I mentioned earlier, a situation is always just a situation. It is neutral, and it is always going to be about how we attribute meaning to these situations that becomes our reality. And something really great to keep in mind too is to ask yourself, when you feel the fear of failure coming up, what's the worst thing that can happen? And a lot of the times we realize that the worst thing that can happen is probably not such a bad thing after all, right? It's just basically the mind going crazy and over projecting that fear. And I want you guys to keep in mind and really remember that at the end of the day, if you are willing to show up consistently, to take consistent, constant action towards what it is that you want to manifest in your life, in your business, there is absolutely no way that you are going to fail. If you keep on showing up, if you keep on persevering and taking action, you will get to where you want to go. The only way that you are going to miss where you want to be is if you let the fear of failure hold you back from taking any action and from standing up again if you were knocked down along your path. Overcoming the fear of failure and really transforming these limiting beliefs of fear of not being good enough is something that I am so passionate about helping my soulmate peeps with, and I'm actually so excited because I have some spots open now for one-on-one coaching. So if you want support in really getting to that next level in manifesting your most aligned life and business, then be sure to head on over to the link in the description box to find out how we can work together. Be sure to reach out because I would love to see how I can support you on a one-on-one basis to help you really overcome the fear of failure and get to where you want to be in life and in business. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you. If you did enjoy it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. And let me know in the comments what was your key takeaway from this video. And stay tuned because I will be sharing a lot of my Bali adventures with you guys. So be sure to tune in for my next video. And until then, stay light and shine bright, my friends.